Yo, what is going on, everybody? Ladies, gentlemen, whatever else you choose to identify. It is your boy Cam, you Tweeking Media. We are back with another episode of Attack on Culture. Got the boy Trail Sav on the mic. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Yo, what's poppin'?
Yeah. So obviously, if you are, it's still weekly, but typically we would release on Monday. Life stuff happened, but we still want to make sure we got an episode for you guys this week. So we're recording this on Monday, but you guys will be seeing this on Tuesday. So just a bit of context as to why we didn't release our episode on Monday. So we got a lot of decent stuff to talk about. We got some L's on Nintendo. That's a big W for the gaming community. We got some award nominees that we want to discuss, not the game awards, but something else entirely. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. But before we get into it, you already know what to do. Go ahead and show this video some love, y'all. Like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Click on the bell icon to be notified of all future posts that we drop on this channel, and share this video across all your fellow nerds. Help us get to 1K sub, guys. That is our goal for the end of the year. Be sure to check out all of the other content that is available on our channel. Aside from this being our nerd culture podcast, we also have our sports podcast, Threes from the Ring. Detrell, can you give us a brief synopsis of what y'all went over last time and what you got looking forward to for the next podcast episode?
So we still smack dab in the middle of basketball. I think we are approaching week 3 right now. So we are, still having our impressions on that. Also, we talked again. I hate wrestling. If you tune into that podcast, you'll realize how much I hate wrestling. But we talked about, our theories about what's happened on Saturday main event, what we think will happen. And then next episode, we're going to continue talking about more of our thoughts on basketball. And then we're going to review Saturday night main event and me celebrate because Jey Uso is finally about to touch that tag rope yet again. Again, you guys have been showing us so much support through shorts and even some of our videos. I know Cam, some people look at views. That's cool. I look at likes, and our stuff be getting some good likes. So I appreciate y'all. Cam on the Gotcha got some good likes on his stuff. All of our shorts and things I get likes. So that means y'all are listening to us and also rocking to an extent of what we said. So I really appreciate y'all, man. It makes the whole thing about getting clips and making them into shorts and stuff like that. It makes it way easier and way more enjoyable. So I appreciate y'all. Continue to support us. Again, if y'all are some loyal listeners, I really appreciate y'all. Y'all just don't understand. If you knew, hey, I appreciate you as well.
For sure. And definitely want to echo that. So again, check out Threes from the Ring. Detroit also mentioned Gotcha on the Gotcha. Run a real quick show, thanks to the Star Rail, the Honkai Star Rail community, and also to the Goddess of Victory Nikkei community for showing up and showing out on some of the recent videos that I put out on the channel. Y'all are some real ones, and I appreciate you. Stuff like that motivates me to get my lazy butt up, sit in front of this computer, and record some content. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. Continue to, like the trail said, engage with us. Like, I love when you guys add comments onto my videos, be it positive or negative, because I like to respond irregardless. So continue to do that, guys. I want to interact with the community. I want to build something with us, and Gotcha on the Gotcha is one of the platforms in which I want to do that. Speaking of Gotcha on the Gotcha stuff, I want you guys to, if you are listening from any one of those videos, be on the lookout this week in particular. We got some fair amount of content that I'm going to be dropping on the Honkai Star Rail side. We have version 3.7 patch dropping, I believe, Tuesday night or Wednesday. I can't recall, but when it drops, you'll expect a video on that. This is a very controversial patch because a lot of people don't like what's going on, and I got some things to say on that. So tune in to that. We also have part 2 of the, I believe this is the 3.3 or 3.2 patch for Triple Z with the release of the Octopus Waifu Mommy. So your boy's going to be doing some pulls for her. So if you are interested in Triple Z content, be on the lookout for that. And then we also have part 2 of the Goddess of Victory Nikke's 3rd year anniversary, where I'm going to be doing some MLB pulls for the part 2 character that's releasing. So we got a fair amount of content on the Gacha side. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. Also, we have Views from the Couch, which is a series that Detroit and I do, where we do a little bit more of a deep dive into games that we actually play, not touch for 2 hours and then give a review. These are games we actually put some time and effort into finishing, so we can give you guys some thought out opinions of how we feel about the game. And we recently just dropped a video for our Ghost of Yote review. So if you are interested in hearing our thoughts on that game, please, after you're done with this video, of course, be sure to tune into that. Let us know your thoughts on how you feel about the game and of the review structure as a whole. And stay tuned, because we got a lot more stuff coming down the pipeline for sure. So that's it as far as like other content for you guys to indulge in. Social media, obviously, links are in the description box down below. TikTok at YTM Clips, Facebook, Tweeking Media, and TikTok at Attack on Culture. So with all that being said, guys, let's move on to the first thing that we want to talk about real quick, which is aka TikTok farming clips. It's the start of November. We did this a little bit in October, and we want to continue to do this at the top of the month. But we got some upcoming games in November, not as much as a crate, because October absolutely insane month for gaming. But November, has some things that's coming down the pipeline that we think that you guys should be on the lookout for, depending on your interest in video games. So today, again, at the time of this recording, it is November 3rd. It's Monday. This video will go out Tuesday, which is November 4th. But if you are a fan of simulation games, you got 2 back-to-back bangers with Tavern Keeper, which released November 3rd, which is today. And then we also have Age of Empires, which is releasing November 4th. For all my Nintendo peeps, you Zelda fans, finally you're getting another game on the roster with Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, which is dropping November 6th. For all you Fallout fans that were so excited and happy about the Fallout Day that Bethesda so graciously gave you guys, you have the release of Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, which is November 10th. We have also, so I'm trying to put this in order, but I forgot I had added this in. Unbeatable. So this is a indie game that's coming out. I have been tuning into this game for a minute. I remember watching the trailers of this like earlier on this year. It is a rhythm based game with like a lot of like rhythm style mini games in between. Looks very interested. I'm definitely going to cop and see what it's all about. So that's coming out November 6th. We also have, for all you anime gaming fans, this is a fairly popular soccer anime, which is basically like super anime soccer. They don't take it themselves seriously, but we have Inazuma 11 Victory Road, which is coming out November 10th for Nintendo Switch people. So these are 2 games which I believe, if for some reason you have not played these games, you need to. We have Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2, which is coming out for the Switch 2 port. These are amazing, fantastic games. Detroit and I have talked a lot about the Yakuza series. If you have not played the games, this is the perfect time to do so if you own a Switch. We also have Call of Duty. Y'all finally getting Black Ops 7. So Black Ops 7 is releasing November 14th. It's been a lot of conversations between this game and also Battlefield 6, but now you guys get to put that to the test when the game officially drops, again, November 14th. Also, another Switch port game that's coming out, which is Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. So for all of you Switch peeps that for some reason you didn't get to experience on the consoles or Steam, you can experience it on the Switch port, or the Switch version, November 14th. We also have Deadpool VR. I'm pretty sure if you've seen any Game Awards, or I think this was also revealed in Gamescom, they showed a trailer of it. So if you own a Meta or whatever other hardware VR device you own, stay on the lookout for Deadpool VR. SpongeBob is getting a new game this month. SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide. So if you are a fan of SpongeBob, I'm assuming this is like a platforming game. Be on the lookout for that. We also have Kirby Air Rider. So this is some people may not think, people may not know, but this is a big Switch 2 release. They had a whole entire Nintendo Direct dedicated to this game. So Nintendo is banking a lot on this title. It is releasing November 20th. This is a remake of a GameCube game. I really enjoyed it. I'll see how I'm feeling around that time and whether or not I want to get it or not. But it's a big Switch 2 title, so if you're a Nintendo fan, it's something to be on the lookout for. And then last but not least, we have Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. I don't know too much about the Stalker series, but I have heard a lot of people who like the game. I believe they like the first game. So if you are a fan of Stalker, you got the sequel coming out this month as well. So those are just a couple of games that I noticed, that Tro noticed, that we wanted to let you guys know about. If there are any games that we are missing or any other games that you feel like we should be on the lookout for, let us know in the comment sections down below. So moving on from that, let us talk about, so there are a couple of games that one game I wanted to give an update on, and then there's another game that I've been playing in my downtime that I want to talk about really quickly as far as just games in general. So want to provide a quick update for Dispatch. This is, it's funny because whenever Detro puts the clip out, if we do a clip of Dispatch, or then whenever this thing is already going to be outdated because episodes 5 and 6 are dropping this Wednesday, but it is what it is. So last time I talked about episodes 1 and 2, again, they release 2 episodes per week. So it's this week and next week is going to be the final week with episodes, I believe 7 and 8. So just want to cry, because if you have been in the Dispatch algorithm, these 2 episodes, particularly episode 4, has been talked about a lot when it comes to Dispatch, and that's because obviously the big choice, it boils down to milk or rice. You want Blonde Blazer or do you want Invisigal? that is essentially what Dispatch episode 4 is all about. So I played the 2 again. My thoughts are still the same. If you've seen our previous episode, or if you've seen our clip on the TikTok or on the YouTube short side, I am still of the mindset, I just think you should still wait until basically next week. If you can wait until next week, if you can hold off on spoilers, watching your favorite content creators react to certain stuff, if you can hold off till November 12th, I think it'll be worth getting the game and just experiencing everything in one go. Because the game is so short, honestly, I think, depending on your time management or whatever, I think you can just knock it off in like a one-night sitting. But I very much still, again, contrary to what I said about that, there's the nuance of it. I really am enjoying this game a lot. The story, the characters are absolutely amazing. In fact, I replayed episode 4, so now I have 2 save files, and I'm going to be playing those 2 save files just to see what the differences are. One save file obviously shows Blonde Blazer. The next save file I chose Invisigal. But even still, like some of the main gameplay you do when you are actually dispatching heroes to handle certain calls and stuff like that, just hearing some of the flavor text and dialogue between the heroes as they're bantering back and forth between each other, it's funny. It's the writing is very mature. It feels like it was made by people who know how to use a pencil, a paper, who know how to use a keyboard on the computer, and they didn't go on ChatGPT and ask, what are the kids nowadays saying, and think that's clever dialogue. So, and I didn't even know this until but shout out to Voice Critical. I didn't know.
I meant to ask you, did you like his voice acting?
Yeah, no, he is absolutely fantastic. I know L Glazing, whatever, but he's great. When I found that out, yeah, we're not cutting Sonar. I let Coop go. As soon as when they was like, yeah, who you want? Nah, I'm not. I was like, you think I'm gonna fire Moist Critical? No, he's staying on the team, bro. So hey, shout out to Sonar. But yeah, all in all, the game is doing a good job as far as I'm looking forward to Wednesday. I'm looking forward to episodes 5 and 6 dropping to see what happens next. They did release a trailer, so if you are interested in getting a little teaser and a little snippet of what's to come, you can check that out as you're biding your time for Wednesday. So yeah, all in all, still really enjoying Dispatch. Again, I still think you should wait until next week to hop into the game if you have not bought it yet. Other than that, we have towards the end of October, we didn't actually, because I have to start using other things because when we did our initial list and for the October thing, I just pretty much referenced what was on Opera GX, but they don't tell you everything that's coming out on Opera GX. And one of the games that I forgot to mention was Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake. So I have been playing this game. This is a part of what they, is called the Erdrick trilogy. So in case you're wondering, like, oh, why did they release 3 and then 1 and 2? It's because canonically within the Dragon Quest timeline, well, technically 11 comes first, but 3 comes first, and then it's 1 and 2. So I just finished 1, and I understand why they packaged both 1 and 2 together, because 3 is kind of like a more complete game, and 1 and 2 are kind of very more short experiences. Like I want to say like in total, I'm about like almost 20 hours into the game, and I think like pretty much it took me like what 18 hours ish to beat the first game. So to give a review, and I'll give a slight impressions of 2. Review of 1, essentially, I have a very strong love-hate relationship with this game. If I can, that's the best way I can summarize it. Playing this game made me realize how grateful I am that turn-based RPGs have evolved to the point where we no longer are getting games like this.
You just tell me you got a speed up option, bro.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, they have all that stuff, but like that's not my problem with the game. So this game kind of made me reevaluate a lot of things from like just a structure, a standpoint of like the main character of 3 kind of had a Mickey Mouse journey. Not gonna lie to you, like bro kind of like had like, so it's like in 3 you were basically like your father has gone off to help save the world. Now you are gonna go off to save the world because you're the hero, so go do hero things. In 1, this takes place many years after the events of 3. The main character of Dragon Quest 3 had a bunch of descendants. Dragon Quest 1 protagonist is one of the descendants of Erdrick, and like throughout that game, like the main character goes up, he's like, I am a descendant of Erdrick. I am I'm the son, or the great grand whatever son of the mighty Erdrick. And they're like, shut up, I don't believe you. Like, no, you gotta, like, who cares, dude? Go on. So the key difference, and again, I definitely, I don't know if you'd want to even play this game based off this information that you're. The key difference between this Dragon Quest game compared to every single Dragon Quest game, you only have 1 party member. You are it. You don't get any other party members in the entire game whatsoever. And I'm talking about you are fighting mob enemies that get 2 turns. Like they can attack twice, they can do stuff twice, and you're only 1 guy. It is just you. I have a lot of respect for the Dragon Quest 1 protagonist, a lot, because I'm sorry, but if I had to save that sorry excuse of a world, yeah, no, the villain would have won, bro. He would have won 1,000%. So my main complaints with the game just kind of boiled down to the imbalance, or rather just there's no strategy in the game. Again, you're only 1 party member. So like the game gives you access to a lot of different abilities, and they also give you access to a lot of different spells, but like you don't have time for that. You don't have time to set up stuff. You don't have time to, like, you get into a boss battle, and most of these boss battles are designed in a way. So this game has a mechanic called the soul sigil. Essentially, once you get down to well, there's a couple of benefits they have. So one of them can increase your critical hit chance. Another one can make your spells do critical damage. One boosts the efficiency of your healing. One boosts the efficiency of your items. And then there's some other ones that essentially, once you get down to half health, certain abilities and spells, you would hold square. I played this on the PlayStation. You hold square in order to basically give it a power up. So, for example, Gust Slash, which is a single targeting physical wind damage ability, becomes Sky Splitter, which is a multi-target wind damage ability. So a lot of enemies or bosses in this game are designed to hit you hard because the game wants you to utilize that mechanic. The problem comes that, again, you're only one guy. So when you're in a boss battle, there are so many boss battles that boil down to you. There's one key ability that you learn in the game called Wild Side. That ability essentially makes it so that you can attack twice in a turn. You can't choose. You basically, like, if you press attack while you have Wild Side activated, he'll attack twice. If you heal, he'll heal twice, so on and so forth. That is your bread and butter. Every single boss battle is use Wild Side, hit the enemy, wait for the enemy to get you half health, utilize the soul sigil ability, and heal yourself up. There's no real valid, there's no like setting up your defense, setting up your offense. It just boils down to kill the enemy before they kill you, basically. And so a lot of boss encounters kind of feel boring, bland, and it's just like you're not really doing much. It doesn't really feel like I'm doing much of a strategizing from that turn-based point of view, in my personal opinion. Again, a lot of people, again, I'm not saying that, oh, you're just saying the game, you didn't like the game because it's too challenging, you don't like playing hard games. Please stop. I don't even want to bring up my record, but I have no problem with playing challenging games. I still think that if you are of that mindset, I think it's still a flawed mindset to have, because the first and foremost, you should be playing video games to have fun, not because you want to get stressed out. I don't see the fun in getting stressed out playing a video game. But aside from that, I don't mind challenge it, but it's when it comes to the imbalance of things, and when it comes to that, when it boils down to, there is no valid strategy in that game besides Wild Side, Soul Sigil. That's it. Nothing else. And I think that the reason why, like, and I mean, spoiler alert, if we do a top 10 RPG or top 10 game list of the year, this game is not coming on there. It's not even close to it. Sorry. There's a reason why 3 was on there last year, and because it was fun. You had access to you had your main character who was this balanced party member. He or she, depending on which gender you chose, learns a variety of abilities and spells, but you also get to customize your roster. You get to select, I want a knight, I want a martial artist, I want a mage, I want a priest. Like, you get to mix and match your party members, and you can lead to some really fun, albeit some of them are broken, but you can choose how you want to engage the game in. There is no choice of how you want to engage the game in Dragon Quest 1. Wild Side, Soul Sigil. That's it. So if I were to give a review, a rating of Dragon Quest 1, while again, the feeling of Dragon Quest is there, and I want to make that clear. It's kind of like the Pokemon feeling, where like you can play a bad Pokemon game, but that feeling is there, and that's very key. The feeling of Dragon Quest is there for me, where I can play. I was excited to start a new game. I was excited to save the world. It was cool proving to people that, yeah, I am the descendant of Erdrick. That's cool. That feeling stays there. But again, just the lack of strategy, the lack of options to approach certain fights just makes the game overall repetitive. And again, it's a game about a classic NES game, so there's not much to say. All right, small technical difficulties, but anyway, if I were to give an overall rating for Dragon Quest 1, I think it's a solid 5 out of 10. It is an average game. I know some people are going to say, oh, 5 out of 10, that's like, what are you talking? Like, 5 out of 10 is average for me. I had fun playing the game, but overall, there's just a lot of things about the game that frustrated me with the game imbalances and stuff like that. Again, it all boils down to preference. If you like these type of games, far be it for me to tell you that your opinion is invalidated, but don't try to invalidate my opinion of like the game's imbalance or anything like that. That's just how I feel about the game. It's a solid, strong 5 out of 10. But just to give a slight, because I'm only like about an hour into Dragon Quest 2, because again, these games are relatively short, but I'm liking the setup for 2 a lot better. Obviously, this takes place years after the first Dragon Quest 1 game. You know, the descendant of Erdrick, he finds a kingdom, and now he has a bunch of other kids. They found all these different kingdoms, and darkness has come once again. So this game is kind of like a family type game. You start off with the main character, who is obviously he's a descendant of Erdrick, but he can't like learn any spells or anything like that. he goes off to other kingdoms, and you basically recruit your cousins to go fight the big bad. So that's currently where I am right now, but I am liking the setup of 2 a lot more than 1. It feels like there's going to be a lot more strategy and thought put into boss encounters and enemy encounters. So off that logic, I might right now, like I said, the 5 out of 10 rating was just for Dragon Quest 1 alone. It's not in combination with what I feel about 2. So my overall rating of the entire game can change. But so far, that's just my thoughts about the game. If you're looking for a recommendation, like I said, if everything that I talked about as far as my experience in 1 is something that you like, or if you just want to experience what the classic Dragon Quest games are, then pick up the game. If not, then watch your favorite YouTuber play it. Or my recommendation, if you haven't played it yet, I would pick up 3 HD2 remake, because that is an absolutely fun time. So that's it as far as games are concerned. If again, let me know your thoughts if you've played any of these games. And moving on, so I'll pass the mic because I've been doing a lot of yapping. I'll pass the mic to Daytrail, let him talk about a TV show that he's seen recently. So Daytrail, let us know what's going on in the land of TVs.
I'm sorry, guys. Smidget emotional, but I'm not gonna let that. It's a good emotional, but I'm not gonna let that. Get this review, because this review should not be so much emotional. I shouldn't say review, impressions. So, if you are an unlucky subscriber of HBO Max, you would know that they do have a series out called It. Welcome to Derby. Hopefully, I didn't get that title wrong, but basically, it's part of the It like series or things of that nature IP. And I would like to say, Welcome to Derby is fire. Like, it's so good because it had some Stranger Things vibes to it, and I was like, bro, I don't feel like watching something else that's like that. And by God, it is nowhere near like that. I don't want to really spoil like what it's about, but we all know who It is. If you is older than 12, you know who It is and what he is and things of that nature. And this is a couple of years in the future from the past movies, but it's still in, like I like to call it racist times. So it ain't really modern. It's still in racist times, and it revolves around, again, the not only the kids of Derby, but they also got a couple of adults, like a guy in the army and stuff like that. I mean, Air Force, because that's they like the him and that he's in the Air Force. And the overall plot is kind of like any other, horror mystery type thing. They want to find out why these things are happening in Derby. But the way they go about it is really good. Because if you are a person going into this knowing what and who It is, I shouldn't say It, I should say Pennywise. But if you know who Pennywise is, then you kind of figure he's behind all of this. But the way they approach it is really, 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 really freaking good. I think episode 1, 2, and 3, maybe 4 is out already. I watched episode 1 and 2. Probably gonna watch 3 today with the homies. Cam, I know you're not into horror, so I'm not gonna recommend it to you. But it's some stuff. I would like to say this: spoilers for the people who are listening. Episode 1 ended in the best way possible. I can't think of the show that it reminded me of, but it's kind of like, hey, don't get attached to any characters, because it started off with these group of kids, and they did such a good job of you liking these group of kids, and they even brought me little sister. She's like first grader age, and they basically trying to find out what happened to their friend who is missing. And basically, they go all the way to this movie theater that you see in the beginning, and they see him in the whatchamacallit, the screen. And he basically like, hey, long story short, you done messed up. And baby gargoyle or fetus, whatever it was, can't explain it, came out, and absolutely murdered everybody, bro. The main characters that you was like, man, these some cool dudes, and they actually on the poster that promotes the show, gone. Only 2 of them survived from that episode. Gone. Dead. And it wasn't like some, the screen went to black and you see the white tarps over them. No, them grade school, middle school children got gruesomely unalived, I should say. Body, limbs everywhere. Even the first show, you know how we knew she died? She was reaching her arm out for her other friend. And that baby gargoyle fetus thing came, ripped the arm off. The other boy got through in the air and ripped apart. It was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Mind you, I don't say it as much as Cam, but I'm not a horror guy either, to tell you the truth. And I was watching that, and some of the stuff, I'm like, I might turn this off. I'm like, I know who, Pennywise is, and it's scary and stuff like that. But still, some of the special effects and practical effects at that, they did a good job. It was one of the main characters' late mother, and basically she was like suffocated within this stomach, but it was actually the sheets in her bed. Crazy to explain, but it was like, I got claustrophobic and I'm watching on my phone. So it was crazy, but I definitely recommend it, especially if you like horror. If you need something to justify your HBO Max subscription, I definitely recommend that. I should have been watching Fiona and Cake. I did not do that. Probably when it ends, I'll give y'all a season review or something like that. That's one of the few shows I actually do watch. So, but welcome to Darby, Absolute Flames.
Oh, there you have it. So if you've watched the show and you rocking with it too, let us know. Or if you're not rocking with it, whatever, let us know in the comment section down below how you feel about it. So on to that, we got 2 more things to talk about before we head into the news segment. So on the anime side, I just want to catch up. There is one anime that I've added onto my list recently, and this is called Tojima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider. I think Dion. I got to shout out to homie Dion because I think he put me onto this. This show might be my fall anime of this like anime of the season, because this is absolutely hilarious. One of the funniest things I've seen in a year. I mean, I have a Sentai hero bias. Love Power Rangers, Super Sentai. That's my stuff. Great Saiyan Man, again, I love that type of stuff. And this show, kind of the premise of the show, it's not the same, but it kind of gave me that unique approach to like a Sentai based story where like if you guys remember the anime Go Go Loser Rangers, which is about like what if the Power Rangers were power hungry, abusive morons, and you have like the freaking evil guys that they're fighting, basically trying to like usurp them from the inside, that sort of subplot. So the premise of this show is essentially the main character, his name is Tojima. He grew up watching Kamen Rider, huge Kamen Rider fan, loves the series. He wants to be Kamen Rider when he grows up. It starts with basically a flashback of him as a kid, and then it fast forwards to him in high school. He these like bullies from another school try to like mess with this girl that he's hanging out with, and he's someone who takes LARPing a little bit too seriously, because he is strong as heck. They try to punch him, he easily blocks them, punches dude, like he goes flying, and later on, they bring like the whole gang of bullies to his high school because he embarrassed them, and he solos all of them, beats up all of them. Well, they jump him, he's like on the ground, bruised. The girl who he was with calls his name, like, help me, like Tasukete, and then he gets up and then he does the Kamen Rider transformation thing, but like obviously he's not like really trained. He just takes off his shirt or something like that, and then he does transform, and then he just starts beating them up, destroys them. So then he's like, I want to be Kamen Rider. Flash forwards He's now 40 years old, and he's training in the forest. He's just punching this big tree. A big freaking bear comes, and he's like, oh, because one of the enemies of the Kamen Rider, his name is Shocker, and so he wants to defeat Shocker, and he's like, he sees the bear, and he's like, and he gets disappointed. He was like, man, I thought you was Shocker. Beats the bears, destroys the bear. Like, like he's like, he narrates, he says like, yeah, at a certain point, I just became able to just beat up bears, is what it is. So basically the premise of this show is that there are other adults out there that take Kamen Rider way too seriously as well, but they are inhumanely strong. So there's like this female character who wants to be, I think I forgot her name, it's like Electro something, but like she's like a partner to Kamen Rider. She is insanely strong. There's this other guy who's like V3 Kamen Rider, and like he like is literally twirling in the air and doing all these kicks. And mind you, they are regular humans, but it turns out that, like, you know, the Shocker organization does exist, or so, I don't know what is going on, but basically the way the show is that like these guys are LARPing, they're insanely strong, but there is actually an evil organization on Earth where these people are transforming into Shocker and committing crimes. They're stopping them, and there's also these things called monsters. Like legitimately, there's a guy who transforms into a spider monster in the latest episode. So like they're fighting him too. So it's just basically, I have no idea what's going on. It's funny, but it's like if there actually is this evil organization that actually exists as a part of like their quote unquote Kamen Rider fantasy, and they've actually been training their whole lives, and they're actually able to combat this stuff. It is a great premise. I think that if you're not watching this show, you need to give this show a shot, because it is hands down, it is one of the funniest things I've seen in it's a breath of fresh air too, because I just like how the show doesn't take itself seriously. It is very much aware of what it is. I mean, there's a character who literally is like, I want to like, the one of the characters who is one of the adult Kamen Rider people is like, yeah, you know, I can tell you about my experience with Shocker, but I have to give you my, you know, emotional backstory. And the main character's like, it might take a while though. And the main character's like, yeah, please tell me the whole thing. And then they go cut his actual backstory and start telling it. So like it's really good. Show also has, I mean, if you're, you know, saying you a gooner, show got a lot of fan service too. Like the female character has like, I don't even know what cup size it is, but they're big. So that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, it's a good show. Highly recommend it. I had to add it to my list because yeah, that is just way too funny. And then last but not least, we have so went to the movies yesterday. Obviously, this movie came out a while ago, so I don't know how relevant it is, but it might come out to streaming services soon. So I feel like it's relevant to talk about if you want to maybe catch it on streaming services, depending on how you feel about what I have to say about it. So one battle after another. I go to a lot of movies, honestly, to the point where I'm thinking about doing something where like I actually do like in-depth movie reviews, but I would have to see how I want to structure that. But one battle after another. Saw a lot of trailers of this. This is Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall. A lot of big named movie stars are on here. And I will say that I definitely, from what I saw in the trailers, it's not how the movie is. Like, I think I was expecting something very different than what I saw when I went to see the movie. So I don't want to spoil too much, because I do think that this is a movie worth going out to see. However, I will put the disclaimer out. If you are of a certain segment of people who see certain things in video games and you go and your first reaction is woke, you're not going to like this movie. This movie is very political. Is a lot of political and a lot of social commentary in this movie. A lot. So if you are someone who gets easily offended by that, you're a precious little snowflake, then probably don't want to go see this movie. For everybody else though, I think the thing is, I wasn't expecting this movie to be so funny. Like, it is very hilarious. I think there's a lot of points in this movie because it is a very exaggerated worldview of like kind of some things that are currently going on in terms of race issues, immigration, things like that. It's very exact. It's super exaggerated. So there's a lot of like funny things that happen regarding this movie. But it kind of just boils down just a brief synopsis. So there's two characters. There's the I'm gonna call it like Leonardo DiCaprio's character and the mom character. Basically, they're revolutionary. You know, they're like trying to fight the system. You know, and the mom character is very interesting. I feel like there could be a lot of deep dives into her character as it relates to how things currently happen. But she is somebody that she talks a lot. She can't walk the walk, basically. She she is like the leader of, I forgot what they call like the French something 75 or something like. I don't know what they call their, it's something like that in regards to that. But essentially they go around, the first scene is them freeing up an immigration camp. She has a relationship with Leonardo DiCaprio, later on leads to her getting pregnant with their kid. But there's some scenes in there where like essentially there's this guy who was at the immigration camp. He's like this army general dude, old white dude. After his encounter with her, he becomes infatuated with her. Like he literally, there's a scene in the movie where he walks up to Leonardo DiCaprio's character. He's like, you have a kid? He's like, yeah, I have a little girl. He's like, her name is Charlene. He's like, sounds like a black girl. Sounds like a black name. And then he goes, you like black women? And he goes like, he's just kind of like, what? And then he goes like, I love black women. And then he just leaves the store. It is a funny scene. And so essentially, he captures the mom character, and because she does some dumb stuff, like she's a very interesting character. But essentially she rats out her entire organization, gets people killed. Leonardo DiCaprio and the daughter have to run away and assume new identities. And then it's a time skip, like I think it's like 16 years into the future. And that's kind of where the bulk of the movie takes place. Essentially, consequences of the mom and Leonardo DiCaprio's character, their revolutionary antics, is the consequences of that, and how do they resolve that. It is a very interesting movie. Like I said before, there's a lot of social and a lot of political commentary. You know, the movie does have a lot of interesting topics to discuss that I think are worth talking about, especially how things are in our current climate in this world. So I think that, if you want to catch it, I think it's worth seeing in theaters. Like if you want to see it at a discount, discount Tuesdays, or eventually whatever streaming platform it ends up going on, I think it's worth watching it at that point. If I were to give a rating for this movie, I think it is a solid 7 out of 10. It's not like, I've seen a lot of movies this year. It's not in my top 5 like at all, but I do think it's a serviceable, it's a solid movie. You will have a lot of laughs. So like it is a funny movie. But all in all, that's my thoughts on one battle after another. So all that being said, guys, let's move on to, we have 2 particular news segments to talk about. That being a big one. This is the big one that's happened earlier, basically last week. Essentially, this is a W. It's an L for Nintendo, but a W for us. So Japan has rejected one of Nintendo's patents. This relates to, essentially, just to give a little bit, I don't want to give out misinformation. So let me go ahead and scroll over to the article real quick. I'm going to read a little bit about this. So essentially, so there is 3 patents that Nintendo has sent out. So, and this is kind of in relations to their ongoing lawsuit with Palworld, but Japan has rejected one of their pending patent applications as failing to demonstrate an inventive step that would differentiate it from prior art. Essentially saying that like there are other games that do this, and you're not doing anything that breaks the mold, basically. So like This relates to kind of the capturing and the summon monsters mechanics. So I think they reference Arc as one of the sources that they go. So basically, so let's see, child vacation, blah, blah, blah. The rejection therefore could give Pocket Pair a rhetorical opportunity to encourage similar investigation of the patents it is accused of. So basically, this is good because now the other things that Nintendo is essentially suing Palworld for, they can kind of go like same. Like they're talking about the riding mechanics and they're talking about other stuff. Like there's a bunch of other games that do this thing. So again, there's a lot of articles that talk more into depth about this, but just to give, this is just a brief update because we did talk about this in one of our previous podcast episodes in relations to Nintendo patenting gameplay mechanics and how that is a very, very bad thing for the entire gaming industry. So this is, I know a lot of Nintendo fans are, I know you're, or the Nintendo stands are crying in the corner. I know Papa Nintendo lost or they took an L, but this is a good thing because there should never be a situation where a game company can patent gameplay mechanics. It is a loss of innovation, and we do not need that in the gaming industry. So, again, huge W. Shout out to Japan for rejecting that. Detroit, what are your thoughts on this situation?
Rest in peace. No, rest in peace. Okay, rest in peace is literally my thoughts on that, but I will say Nintendo will press harder. It's just what big companies do.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're definitely gonna try to legal loophole. We know these multi-billion-dollar companies, they have where there's money, there's a way. They definitely, I do think that they're still going to try to pursue the lawsuit from the other patent applications they're trying to submit. Again, this one was in relations to like the capture mechanic and stuff like that. They still have the one, I think, for like summoning, and also they have the one for like air gliding and stuff like that. So hopefully those also get rejected because it's like, hey, there are other games that also do this, and the way you do it is no different from these other games. So I'm hoping that, again, for us as gamers, the stance that you should be taking is that you absolutely want Nintendo to 100% lose this. Nintendo winning is not good. Nintendo getting any of these patents officially registered is not good for anybody. So again, we'll keep you updated as we continue to get more news about this situation in regards to the lawsuit, the ongoing lawsuit, and also Nintendo with their patent registration. But again, let us know what your thoughts are, what is currently going on in the comment sections down below. And lastly, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up with, so Detroit brought this to my attention before we started recording this. I didn't know that this was going on, but hey, glad to see it. And this is going to kind of boil over to, because this month and next month is going to be a dangerous time on the internet.
It's gonna be so much fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of talks, a lot of things going on. So the Golden JoyStick Award is the 43rd annual award. Essentially, this is held in London every year. It's the first time that I heard about it. Just my ignorance. So hey, I'll be on sure to look out for it in the future. So this is kind of more of a like super critical, like game critic side of thing, whereas the Game Awards is more of like a popularity contest. This is more of like an in-depth, like we're actually looking at these games type situation, to my understanding of what I've been reading on it. So there's a lot of categories, and quite frankly, I don't want to talk about a lot. So you are free to look up this information on your own. I just wanted to bring up a couple of things that I believe, and I mean, Detroit, feel free to add some ones that you want to as well. So I'll go over one of the ones that I think, which is we'll save the game of the year, so we'll save that for last. So one of them is best storytelling. So the nominees for that are Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Silent Hill F, Blueprints, I'm surprised to see this on there, but Mafia the Old Country. I mean, hey, I'm glad the game's getting flowers, but shout out to it. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, and then what the? I didn't even see this. What? Now I actually have to tune into this. The 100-line Last Defense Academy. What? For best storytelling? I mean, it's like 100+ hours of storytelling because that's a visual novel with a lot of branching storylines. So shout out to you, whoever is fighting for that game. But wow, okay, yeah. So best storytelling, those are ones that you chose. I guarantee you. So I'm gonna kind of game of the year-ify this list and tell you exactly why these are two different things. So let's take out Mafia the Old Country. That game would not be on there if this is Game Awards. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, no. The 100-line Last Defense Academy, nope. I'm gonna say Blueprints too. I don't know, Detroit, you played that game. Would that game be on there for best storytelling?
Is it a what? So are you saying is it a good story game or
like
would the Game Awards put that on there?
Would the Game Awards put Blueprints for best story? Okay, all right. So yeah, there you go. That's the difference. Popularity contest wise, Expedition 33 and Silent Hill F are 100% being on there, but all these other games, no.
I think Silent for joysticks. I think if Expedition 33 don't do like a super sweep thing, which I don't think usually the joystick stuff do. No, Baldur's Gate did that, so never mind. But I wouldn't be surprised if Silent Hill F wins that. A lot of people like Silent Hill F. A lot of people. I know that ain't me. Like me and Jiggy when it comes to video games, but a lot of people liked it. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I think for this one, I think the big difference is what I'm noticing is that like a lot of things that are getting nominated, and again, we're not going to go over every single category, but these aren't like the TikTok algorithm, YouTube algorithm. These are like games. Like again, this is like my first react because I just saw the categories and I was like, okay, I'll just pop them on there to talk about on the podcast. I did not realize that the 100-line Last Defense Academy would have got some flowers for storytelling. That's crazy. It's good to see though. So shout out to that. So another one that I thought was worth talking about. So we have best multiplayer game. So the nominees for that are Battlefield 6, Peak, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Split Fiction, Mario Kart World for some reason, and Rematch. So I think if we're talking about game of the year-ifying this list, Battlefield 6 for sure. I think Peak for sure, Elden Ring for sure, Split Fiction for sure. I think honestly, I feel like maybe Rematch. I did hear a lot of things about Rematch. Rematch was a game that I talked about a lot, but I don't know if it would be like in conversation for best multiplayer game. I don't know if it would be that if it hit that list, or like maybe best sports game type thing, or I don't know. But I think this list is game of the year verified. There you go.
Yeah, I like on that one. I definitely like to see Battlefield 6 get some praise. It was getting glazed already. I like that. I also like to see Split Fiction get on there on that multiplayer side. People gotta realize it's not just it's
not just
story game.
Shooty bang bang.
Yeah,
it's like multiple people are playing the game.
Yeah, so and it's from what people say, it's fun. So, but I actually like that one a lot, to tell you the truth. I like the games they put on there, except for Mario Kart. I mean that.
Yeah, this is someone I play Mario Kart. I bought the Switch 2 with the Mario Kart edition on there. Mario Kart should not be. I'm sorry, might be a hot take. Mario Kart should not be on anything, like at all. Whatever you think Mario Kart World qualifies as, it should not be on there at all. It's not. I think it's just a downgrade in my opinion. I think Mario Kart 8 is still the superior Mario Kart experience. I think World banked a little bit too hard on that whole like open world free roaming thing that they kept doing, and they didn't pay much more attention to a lot of the other content that they should have been providing in the game. Not to mention, from some of the videos that I've been watching personally in regards to that game, it sounds like they don't listen to the community at all when it comes to the multiplayer experience of that game. So, and that's the big reason why like a lot of people seem to latch on to the Sonic racing game because it seems as though they're paying much more attention to what the community wants for a racing game. So yeah, I know Nintendo fans. I know. We're ragging on you a lot this podcast episode. Sorry, but yeah, not a fan of that one. All right, another one that I thought was worth mentioning is best visual design. So this, best graphics. So nominees for that, we have Death Stranding 2 on the beach. We have Clair Obscur Expedition 33. We have The Midnight Walk, Ghost of Yotei, Sword of the Sea, and Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Okay, skip that last one. That is a very stacked. That is a very stacked games. I understand Assassin's Creed Shadows. It looks good, but comparing it
to its other Japanese counterpart, which is Ghost of Yotei, it's like Microsoft Paint to like
even comparing it to all of them. So, quick breakdown for your boy, so I can flex I played all of these games muscles, which I literally played all of those games except for I ain't gonna say which one. So, in terms of the most realistic game, realism in graphics, the game that looks the most realistic, Death Stranding blows every game out the water this year. Art direction and Ghost of Yotei, Sword of the Sea, and Expedition 33, few games can compete. Literally, few can compete in terms of like art direction and how just beautiful it looks.
Yeah, I'm saying like if we're talking about like graphics from the standpoint of like character models and stuff like that, I think that Death Stranding 2 is that. But if we're talking about like, I think if we're talking about environmental details, Ghost of Yotei. If we're talking about art direction and the stylizing of that type of thing, Sword of the Sea, Expedition 33.
Yeah, because it's like, for Death Stranding 2, Tojima wanted that to be a movie, so it looks realistic. The mountain ranges look like you took that right out of a picture. It looks like Australia. It looks like wherever else they was at. Really good. The fragile autumn looks great, but when you looking at stuff to make your eyes water of how great it looks, what Expedition 33 did, what Yotei did, what Sword of the Sea did, few games are touching that this year. Like few. Like, especially like, I think Expedition 33 is underrated in that aspect.
It is very underrated.
Talk about the gameplay even
very
more.
Underrated.
That map, the open world map in which you going into the different areas, crazy. The different areas in that game, like the sea one, when you like under the water, you see the whales going across your head and stuff like that. Insane. Like, so I mean, it did like, it's not even just talking about like area and things like that. Enemy design in Expedition 33, crazy.
Yeah,
like the enemy design, the boss fights, the battles. I still ain't beat that nigga. Whatever his face name.
Oh, Hugo.
Still ain't beat that nigga. I don't think I am. Shoot, I'll wait for the collector's edition to come out when they add some cheats. But like, I know it is that game. I think out of all the things we glaze Expedition 33 for, it is underrated on the art direction.
Definitely, I agree. Underrated. I definitely agree. So we have that. Another one we have is best soundtrack. So let me go ahead to there. So best soundtrack, the nominees are Expedition 33. We have South of Midnight, Silent Hill F, Eric Shom, The Stolen Dream, I haven't heard of that, Deltarune, and Sword of the Sea. So if you want my glaze on, Expedition 33. Glaze on Expedition 33. However, I will say that a very underrated track is Deltarune. As someone who I played, so I recently this year, I picked up since I believe it was episode 3 and 4. Toby Fox released it earlier this year. So I ended up buying Deltarune, and I am currently in the middle of chapter 4 So I did everything from like chapter 1 to 3. That soundtrack for him, and he composed that entire soundtrack by himself. This is an indie game. That soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. Like it is really, it is basically, it takes like, if you've ever played like classic NES Mega Man games where it's like that very synthesize-y type of composition, like Expedition 33 is orchestral, very orchestral, instruments, they're playing it. Deltarune is very much synthesizing, utilizing audio stuff on your computer, audio software stuff on your computer. But my God, some of those tracks are like the secret boss fight for, I believe it's chapter 2, I believe, which is called Big Shot. Oh my God, that is a fantastic boss track. Like I have that on my playlist, and that sometimes when that thing come on, I just be banging my head. Like it is so good. So I'll say that all these games, I feel like Deltarune is definitely, like, again, how we talked about Expedition 33 being underrated. That soundtrack is heavily underrated for Deltarune. But if I'm thinking about how people, because a lot of people are unfortunately going to view like, oh, it's not using natural instruments, it's not orchestral, so it has to go to Expedition 33 because it is natural. It's natural. A lot of people are very hoity-toity when it comes to stuff like that. So I think that Expedition 33 is like the clear winner. I love the Expedition 33 soundtrack. Bangers, absolute elite music. But I do think that there needs to be kind of that deeper conversation of like, let's start giving love to some of these games that do like a lot more of like the synthesizing type of thing when it comes to soundtrack design. So that's that. Thoughts, Datro?
You could have said it any better. I just think like Expedition 33 is what you wanted from a soundtrack for a game like that. Like it's perfect. Like you can't, when you reviewing or you talking about Expedition 33, you can't take away the soundtrack and say it's still a 10 out of 10 game. You know what I mean? Like that soundtrack adds it. Like I love Death Stranding soundtrack, right? It got some bangers on there, right? But I can take away those bangers except probably one, which is like BB's theme, and it would still be my game of the year. For Expedition 33, as much as I love that game, you take away that soundtrack, I don't know if I still feel the same way, because what that soundtrack added to Father's boss fight, what that soundtrack added to Hugo's boss fight.
Oh yeah, especially
that soundtrack added to, spoilers, the numerous death scenes in that game. It's good. What's his name? He was he the one who could transform into like different beasts.
Monaco's theme. Yeah, Monaco's theme is fire.
Golden, her theme, fire. Like, imagine when we can review that. I mean, do the top 10 or whatever we gonna do, like yearly review of video games. It might just be 15 minutes on Expedition 33. So much they did good on that game, bro. So, but I agree. Like, I can understand because even them 8-bit soundtracks on video games be bangers.
Like literally, people go be mad, but I have more Deltarune tracks on my like personal playlist than Expedition 33.
I can see that.
Like it is so, because like Expedition 33 has music that like I kind of want to listen to in like contemplation. Deltarune has music that like I'm on the go, I need a vibe, I'm putting on Deltarune music.
So you said Deltarune got like good, like if it come on shuffle, you ain't gonna be mad.
No,
you ain't gonna skip.
Yeah, no, bro. Them songs is fire, bro. Man, it's a great soundtrack. But again, yeah, let us know your thoughts on that. One last thing before we go ahead, close. Again, lots of categories. You can look up some of your stuff on your own. But obviously, the big one being, and what they call it, I mean, this is honestly, I don't even know why they don't do this in the Game Awards, because this is such a clickbait title. This would literally get people on TikTok and YouTube crazy traction when it comes to algorithm and stuff like that. But they call it Ultimate Game of the Year, not just Game of the Year. Ultimate. This is the pinnacle, the peak of gaming experience for 2025. So their nominees are Split Fiction, Death Stranding 2, Death on the Beach, Peak, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Clear Obscure Expedition 33, Blueprints, Silent Hill F, Ghost of Yote, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Hades 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. Pretty stacked list. I'm surprised to see, like, I guess because it was a big streamer game, but Peak. I'm surprised to see Peak on there.
I'm not surprised. I think, like, people call it friend swap now, but if you're gonna say which multiplayer game controlled the masses, almost,
it was Peak. Yeah, people played a lot of Peak. And I thought I thought this game came out last year though, but I guess maybe
wasn't that a DLC? Ain't that
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle?
I think that's a DLC because I think they let DLC slide for the Ultimate Game of the Year stuff.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah.
You can be wrong because me and you both didn't play that game, so
I didn't play the game.
Also, don't care because it ain't gonna win. But
it's not. It's gonna boil down to, in my personal opinion, is gonna boil down to, on this list. We're not talking about Game of the Year. Well, when they announce the nominees, we'll talk about which one is gonna win for sure. I think it boils down to Death Stranding 2, Expedition 33.
Yep.
Donkey Kong Bonanza, Silk Song for sure,
Hades 2,
and Hades 2. Yeah,
I think Hades 2 is still sitting at the highest on Metacritic.
Yeah,
so that itself people gonna glaze it. I do think it's worth it. I shouldn't say glaze because I think it's worth the praise.
No, it's a really good game.
Good game. People still getting hours out of it.
It's a really good game.
We'll have to I would put it as a nice topic next week. Y'all get a nice preview because leading up to the Game Awards, I will be putting Game Central topics in our podcast. But what year stacks up to this? Probably 2018.
This is a crazy if we're
2020,
talking about,
maybe.
If we're talking about like just everything that's, I mean, just October 2025 alone is like a month that needs to be talked about in terms of gaming. That month had so many major releases in genres for a bunch of people to play and indulge themselves. It was crazy month. But 2025 stacked year. Again, the only reason why 2026 is going to be in conversation is because GTA 6.
Oh well, it has some.
It has some. 2026 has some good, but like when we talk about years, 2026 is the first thing that is going to come out of people's mouths when we talk about 2026 is going to be GTA 6. It's just how it like that year alone is already stacked off the basis that GTA 6 is coming out.
Even though and I can see the list of some of the ones that do look. It's going to be games that shock people of how good they are.
Oh, yeah.
But I still don't think it'll compete. Like, GTA is going to blow everybody's mind. It's going to be a great game. Rockstar, literally, the only thing Rockstar can let people down is, like, online, which that's almost guaranteed that they will let people down because the expectation is through the roof. But story-wise, gameplay, GTA 6 is going to blow. GTA 6 is going to...
It is... And again, this might be a hot take, but it is what it is. GTA 6 already, in my personal opinion, is like when we talk about, because people talked about this when it came to the 2010s to the 2020s. They talked about what was the game of the decade, right? GTA 6 is going to be the game of the decade for the 2020s.
I agree. Again, there's going to be a work shortage.
I already let my manager know in advance I'm taking that time off to play GTA.
There's going to be a work shortage. There's going to be, I mean, if you a hustler and you want to do Uber Eats and stuff like that, the perfect time to do it because everybody going to be ordering.
People going to be ordering, people are going to be taking minimal breaks from playing that game.
I do think it's good, but I do think we're going to be shocked by some of the good games.
9
times out of 10, we're going to get a Mario game next year too, so it will have some competition. That's dang near guaranteed at this point. I'm not gonna hold you. Game Awards, Nintendo most likely will tease a Mario game, just because it has to happen. But if you think about Halo, going to get a remake. Wolverine comes out which is already looks great.
Really good. Yeah.
And it's also something people forgetting about because, it's just something that I thought it took so freaking long. But again, it's such a it's such a good time to be a freaking gamer, bro. Like,
yeah,
who
for
would
sure.
like? It's just I think it's like the best time, bro. Man,
There's a lot of stuff coming out, a lot of stuff that's already out, that's worth playing. So again, yeah, so that's kind of just it. Again, I know I said this for the 5th time, but there's like a lot of other categories like indie game that's self-published, ongoing games, mobile games, best remake / remaster. There's a lot of categories for the Golden Joystick Awards. So again, if you're interested in seeing what all the nominees are, go ahead and do some own research and let us know as far as like, what do you think is going to win as far as the Golden Joystick Awards for the game of the year, soundtrack, visual design. Want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But that's gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and end things there. So if anything that we talked about as far as this entire podcast episode, upcoming games for this month, some of the games, more updates on games that I played, anime, TV shows, movies, etc., etc. Whatever we discussed on this episode of the podcast, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Be on the lookout for, again, future content. Just as a reminder for Gotcha on the Gotcha. So we have Honkai Star Rail 3.7 patch. I'll be doing a video on that. The second part of the Triple Z patch that's currently ongoing. And then we also have part 2 of the 3rd year anniversary for Goddess of Victory, Nikke. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but Uma Musume is getting a big update this week as well. They're introducing a new career scenario. So I'll be sure to cover that as well. On Things from the Ring side, what Detro said, they're talking more about things happening in the current basketball season and also what's happening in wrestling. So stay tuned for that when it drops. And like I said before, if you have not, be sure to check out our review of Ghost of Yote and let us know how you feel about the game. So with all that being said, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. God bless. See you next time.
Peace.